Okay, guys, good morning. Happy Monday. What day is it? It is obviously it's Sunday night for me. It is going to be Monday morning, the 19th of January. We are more than halfway through the month. So, obviously, this is our third Monday. We're going to talk about something that I was seeing quite a lot last week on check in. So, as I says, these Monday things are either going to be some wise words of wisdom that's going to hopefully make you feel much better, and or also maybe discussing quickly. Oh my god, I've got mascara all down my face. Maybe things that have cropped up, or certain things that people have spoken about, or the way that they feel, etc. etc. So, one thing that I noticed over the last week in check ins was the scale weight and how that was really fucking with us, right? And I totally get it because I was actually in the same position as a lot of you guys that were expressing your, shall we say, rage towards the scales. And I totally get it. As I says, I had stepped on the scales, and I think that when you are, having, obviously the festive period was filled with lots of off plans, enjoying ourselves, etc. So when you do return to normal and you return to your routine, we do expect in our brains for the scale weight to drop, right? Now sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't, right? And that's what we need to remember, is that it doesn't define us. It doesn't mean that we are not working hard enough. It's just sometimes our body takes a wee bit longer to respond, and that's okay. I was in the exact same position. My scale weight did not budge. And yes, it's fucking annoying because you're like, well, I'm eating healthy, I'm eating back to my normal, I'm doing my normal, and it's not wanting to move. But we have to give it a bit of time to respond and to adjust to get back into that cycle again. But it is just a reminder that you are more than a number. So, for example, for me, my scale weight didn't move, and then it started to move, but it fluctuates about. So, for example, yesterday my scale weight went down, and then it shot back up again today. So these things are going to happen, but what was I going to say? Yeah, so for example, my scale weight wasn't budging, but I felt so much happier because I was back in a routine. I had so much more energy, I was so much more productive, I was enjoying what I was doing. And sometimes you need to take a step back. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, it sometimes doesn't move in the way that we want it to, but that is going to happen with anything in life. It doesn't always move in the way that we want it to, and it doesn't define your progress. And that's something that you all need to remember, is you don't walk about with a sign saying, hi, I'm Nicola and I'm X kilos. You are valued by the kind of person you are. Are you funny? Are you happy? Are you, I don't know, authentic, unique, smiley, whatever it may be, good vibes? That is what you're defined by. And I know sometimes it's hard to overlook the scales, and if you're on a fat loss journey and you feel they're not moving quick enough, but you just have to give things time. Things won't change in a few weeks. Time is what is going to help it change, right? And it's like saving for a house, for example. You don't wake up the next day and expect yourself to have, fucking, I don't know, 2,000 £2,000 or £200,000 in your bank. You have to work. Sometimes it doesn't work in our favours. Sometimes I might have to spend more than we save, and these things are going to happen. But it's just to remind you that scale weight will fluctuate, but your self-worth won't, right? And it's something to remember that these numbers are going to fluctuate for many different reasons, and that's why I like clients to weigh themselves more than one time a week, so that you actually can understand why it might move in the way that it does. Say, for example, you've had a shit night's sleep and you've been a bit stressed, and the scale weight the next day then went up. Okay, we can look at the data that's collected and be like, right, okay, scale weight here is not body fat being gained. It's because you've had a shit night's sleep. There's probably a bit of water retention there because inflammation, shall we say, because stress hormone has went up, like cortisol, and that's when inflammation, water retention, all that can accrue, right? Or if you've had a heavy leg session, or if you ate later on, later than normal. Or, for example, last Monday I had done 24,000 steps. That is not a normal step count for me. My scale weight went up the next day. But what I was explaining to some clients was that in our minds we might think, oh, but I moved more, therefore I burned more calories. But no, my body's not used to doing 24,000 steps a day, therefore some inflammation is going to accrue from that. Therefore, that's going to cause the scale weight to go up. So yes, these things are going to happen. It does not define your progress. That's why we look beyond that. We look at how do we feel, how does our clothes feel, how does our routine feel, our strength, our fitness levels, what's our relationship like with our food, what's our relationship like with social life, and so much more. So this is just a reminder, happy fucking Monday. You are more than just a number. The scale is going to fluctuate, but do not let it dictate how the rest of your day is going to go, okay? So don't stand on the scales today and be like, for fuck's sake, I'm not doing anything today. The best thing you can do is keep on moving forward, keep doing what you're doing. The worst thing you could do is quit and do that all or nothing. We do not need to do that. That is not going to move it in the way that you want it to, okay? So hopefully that helps, and happy freaking Monday!